Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Small Business Sunday. We are here with Shannon Murphy. She owns Willow Path Private Home Care. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, a little bit about her business, kind of what got her started, and we'll go from there. So thank you for sitting with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've heard of anybody that runs a private home care business. So tell us a little bit, one, about you, kind of what got you into this and what ignited your passion.
Yeah. Well, oh gosh, that's a loaded question. I've been a nurse for about 20 years. And so I've been through just about every section of nursing you could be in.
Yeah.
So a lot of my experiences with pediatrics, that was a big portion. And then I branched off and I did home health. And that's really what kind of got me started. If I think back to like thinking about, or at least noticing like the need out there. But I loved doing home health. I loved going into their homes. There is a part of it that's kind of intimidating, but there's such a need out there for people that are homebound, and they need care. And so the difference between like that when I was doing home health, and then what I do now, which is private home health, is that home health is ordered by a physician. So we're overseen by a physician. They're signing off on all my orders or all their orders, and I'm fulfilling those orders for them. So I'm kind of the eyes and the ears for the doctor. But there's an end to that. Home health gets ordered by a physician, but usually you get so many visits depending on your diagnosis. Well, then that ends. But typically the patient's not well. The patient is still needing some sort of assistance, some sort of care. And if it's a chronic illness like dementia or, heart failure, lung disease, I could go on and on. That's where private home health comes in. And so circling back around to my career, so I did home health and then I did some rheumatology and orthopedics and just kind of all of it. My mom got sick. So I started calling private home health companies because I thought, well, me and my sister are going to need some extra support. And what I found out was kind of surprising. And one, there's not a lot of private home health, like you said.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. And when you do go to find one, they're usually all corporate. So they're big companies. But the biggest thing that stood out to me was that they want you to sign a contract. So, and while I understand that because they have a lot of employees that they are needing to find, like work for, to me, when I think about providing care for my mom, that was an extra layer of stress for me. Needing to sign a contract, being held to paying for 20 hours of care. That's what it is. It's 20 hours of care that you're mandated to pay for whether you use it or not. And that was just a level of stress for me that I couldn't really work through. And so for me, that kind of dropped off. Like that idea it was over. I wasn't going to do that. And also, this isn't true for all private home health, but many times it's not a nurse that you're getting.
Really?
So you can get a nurse and you could get maybe a CNA, but also you might just get somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience with the medical field. Now they're always going to give training. I mean, they're never going to send anybody to a home without any kind of training. So I don't want to knock them, but I'm saying that I do think as a nurse with all the experience that I have had and laid eyes on and experienced, that does set me apart,
Yeah, absolutely.
I can recognize things that maybe somebody else would not recognize, or I know that like with a diabetic patient, I would never want to cut their toenails. That's just a little example, but most people wouldn't know that.
I have no idea.
Most people would never know that.
No.
But I know that's a big no-no because I've been in the nursing field for so long.
So out of curiosity, why?
So diabetics can get infections very easy.
Okay.
And their feet are very susceptible to that.
Okay.
And so if they get a wound on their foot, that can just spiral into like a whole thing and sepsis and it's a big deal.
Okay.
So, and a lot of that is because their blood flow and just all kinds of,
Okay.
So
cool, fun
so
fact.
that's just a little example.
Okay.
So those are just little things that I know.
Yeah.
Not to do that maybe somebody else might not know. And so my mom got sick, and my sister and I were trying to figure out, like, we got to take care of her. And I started thinking about, I think I'm going to open up my own company. I think I'm going to open up a private home health company. This was like a year ago. I kind of thought about it, kept thinking about it. And, I would pray on it, really, honestly, because I just wasn't sure.
Right.
Was this the right avenue for me to go?
Absolutely. Especially as a business owner.
Yeah. And it's a big deal. Well, what happened was I also do hair.
Oh, okay.
So I have to bring this up because it's part of the story.
Okay.
So I've done hair for 30 years. It was my first job as an adult, and nursing came second. And what happened was I started getting these phone calls from people I didn't even know, asking me, some I knew, some I didn't know. Could I come to their home and do their mom's hair or give their dad a haircut? They're homebound and can't get out and they need a haircut. And I was like, well, sure, I'd be happy to do that. But when I stopped to think about it, I thought, well, that's kind of a sign. Like, I've been thinking about opening this company.
Yes.
And I felt like that was like a sign.
Absolutely.
Saying like leading me, right?
Yeah.
And so
goosebumps, not even getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah. So I started like thinking about my logo. And my son, my third son, is an artist. He's an amazing artist, and he does all kinds of artwork. And so I kind of got this picture in my head of what I wanted, and I sent it to him. And he created my logo for me. And my logo is a willow tree.
And I saw it, I believe, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is where it's at? Okay, yeah.
And for me, like, the willow tree kind of represents like the tree of life. And so that kind of came like just so easy to me. The logo, him making it for me. I had all these phone calls, people wanting me to come to their house, not providing like nursing services, but it was a hair service.
Yeah.
Still, it was a service for an inbound patient. So I just decided, you know what? I think I can do this. I think that there is enough people out there that truly need help. People go to jobs 8 to 5, 9 to 5. They've got, their parent is at home. They want to keep them at home. You don't want to put them in a nursing home. That's really hard.
I know.
Yeah, it's super hard.
Yeah.
It's expensive and it's hard. Also, I just want to keep my mom at home, right? I want her to be around her things. And so I want to be able to give that to other people. So I'm a one-man show. I don't have employees. I'm never going to have employees. It's just always going to be me. And so what I've come to find out is, in the short time I've been open, is well, first of all, it's just been amazing. Seriously, the people that I've met in such a short time have been amazing. I have some amazing patients already. Like, I'm there to help them, but they like touch my life. So that's what's been so fun about it. And I don't necessarily need to be there 8 hours, you know, and they don't need me 8 hours. A lot of times they're like, well, mom's fine, like in the morning, but come around like 10 o'clock, she needs somebody to be there, maybe to shower her, get her some lunch, and then just make sure she's safe and doing okay. Other than that, she's fine. And then I'll check on her when I get off work. Is that something you can do? And that is exactly what I do. So I have several patients, and I can take many more. And I just like go for an hour if they just want me for an hour, or I can stay all day. I mean, if they really want me for 8 hours a day, I can do that. But it's not like contracted to say, hey, it's an 8-hour block, this many hours a month, and you have to sign off on that. It could be 1 hour a month if that's all they need. It could be one time a week. It could be one time a month. It could be 5 times a week. up to however many hours they wanted. It's basically Monday through Friday, though. I don't do nighttime really, and I don't do weekends. But what I found is that's where the need's at. The need is like during the day.
Yeah, when people go to work. Exactly.
So, yeah.
I don't know much about the field, but I know from just messing with my daughter's daycare, which is kind of similar but a little different, because like before she became full-time daycare, I didn't really need a full-time daycare,
right?
And then you do get trapped into that. Well, I only have full-time, and I'm like, I really only need a few hours on this day, or I just need this day. And so like just going through that was such a struggle. And so I can imagine, you know, how it is with a parent or a loved one that's in your home, and you're like, I don't need to pay for somebody to be there 24/7. I just need a few hours of help. And it gets so frustrating. And so, and then you come in and you're like, hey, I can take care of her for just a few hours, you know, and like.
And I actually take all ages.
Really?
So, So, I mean, I think a lot of times when people are thinking about like private home health, it's the older generation. No, it could be a child. I've got a lot of pediatric experience. It could be your child gets sick and you have to go to work. You need somebody that day. I'll come. I can help you.
Do you hear that? Any parent out there? Because Lord knows I have had that, and I'm like scrambling, calling my sister, like taking her home, coming back out to work. Like that's a phenomenal service to offer, because a lot of people have their own kids that they watch already, and they can't take a sick kid. So, and you said it yourself, you have the experience. So you know how to take care of a sick kid.
Yeah, I do.
That's
phenomenal. I have a lot of kids too. I got my own kids, so I've had a lot of experience. Also, like I do think about people that have. Maybe they got in a car wreck and they broke a leg and they're bedridden for whatever reason. They need somebody. Maybe they don't have family. If somebody just had like a surgery of any kind, they don't have family to come and help. I can do that. So there's a lot of services that I offer also with home health. It's not just medical.
I think that's a lot of people don't think about that. Because you're so spot on. You know, someone gets in a car accident, you know, they can't really do anything for themselves, or they just had a surgery. They can't really get out of bed. Where were you after my C-section?
I know.
Like, girl, I would have been calling you like, please come and help me.
Yes. One of the hardest things to get
over. It really is. Because you can't really sit up. I mean, you're trying to hold a baby. Like, that is. And would you offer something like that to maybe a mom who needs just a little bit of mom help, or a parent, a dad who needs some help? Okay.
Yes. And I mean, so my services are really vast also, and that's kind of what sets me apart. So hair services, obviously. So I will go into the home and I will provide haircuts and all hair color services.
I think that's wonderful. Because
so,
I'm sure like for people that are homebound that can't go out and do stuff like that, that probably feels so amazing to not have like a family member just chop your hair real quick. You get a full hair service. I can only imagine how good that feels.
So my mom, I'll use her as an example. I see her 3 times a week, and I wash and style her hair at least twice a week. Once a month, I'll trim it up and put her little root color on. But also when I do that, when I do her style, I give her a little facial, and I put like lotion on her like upper body. And, you know, they don't get that. They just don't get that kind of care. My mom lives alone too. So like she doesn't think about to put lotion on her, right? So when I'm doing that, I think how good that might feel to have just that lotion put on. And then it's amazing what it does for them.
I can only imagine.
They go from like a dull, seriously, to like shining. Like, and I mean in their mood. They're just it's like you bringing them back to life, giving them just that little bit of like hope. You know,
a little bit of sparkle back in their lives. Absolutely. No,
so that's huge. Huge. I do meal prep. I do errands. Like I'll run their errands, and then I'll come back to the home and I'll meal prep for them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I do light housekeeping. Showering, of course. I have to stay within my scope of practice. I am licensed in Kansas and Missouri as a nurse. but I don't have a doctor to sign off. So I have to be really careful when I'm providing like nursing services. Does it need a doctor's order? And I know what does and what doesn't. So I do stay within my scope of practice, of course, because I'm very protective of my license.
You worked very hard for it.
Yeah.
And to keep it and continue on with it. And so what would you say is something, just to give our viewers an idea of something that you maybe wouldn't be able to do? What's an example? Like what just goes beyond?
Okay. So, well, and I mean, it makes sense because like, let's just say that, I mean, I can put an IV in for you, but I need a doctor's order. So if I'm coming in as a private home health, I can look at it. If you're having trouble with it, I can look at it, see if like I can maneuver it a little, but I cannot like push. I can't push anything through there. I can't change it out. I can't.
It's like true medical stuff that they would have done in a doctor's office.
Yes.
Okay, makes total sense.
So catheters, IVs, any pushed medicine through an IV, I can't do. I mean, I can, but I need a doctor's order, right? So I can't do it with my business. But like any kind of like, if it's like not a wound vac, if you just have like a bandage you need me to change, I can do that. I can give you your medication as long as it's, you know, in the pill bottle. I can read the directions. I mean, I know you need it. And the family has told me, yes, we want you to give her 12 o'clock pills. They're in the original bottle. She needs them. Okay, I can
pretty
do that.
normal stuff.
I can shower, you know, and get them dressed, and you know, I can assess anything, and then I can for sure let the family know, hey, this is what I think. I think we need to call the doctor. This, you know, this isn't normal. This seems concerning. So a set of eyes, maybe extra set of eyes, and I think that's always good. Also, I think this is important to mention. Sometimes when somebody different comes into the home, well, the first time it can be a little bit intimidating, but generally speaking, when somebody's sick, and say you're caring for maybe a sick father or mother or whatever, they're a little stubborn. They maybe might not want to eat for you. But when I come in and I develop a relationship with them, and I sit down and I talk to them, we've got a different relationship than you and dad do, or you and mom do, whatever. And if I say, hey, Mr. Smith, like, I really need you to take a couple bites for me. And if you'll do that, I'm going to take a couple bites, you know, whatever. I can usually get them to eat or do the exercise, which, by the way, I do chair exercises and stuff with my, I offer that as well. You know, I can get them to do the things that maybe the family can't. It's differently received, I think, from somebody coming in from the outside.
Do you think it might be also like an embarrassment type of thing? Like that person was once able to do this around their family and now they're struggling and they don't want their family to see them struggle. Whereas you kind of come in, you don't know them at the time, you know, and so you create a whole new relationship where that is like, not quite patient, but almost kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's different, right? I mean, my set of eyes are different than your set. You're living with that person or you're seeing them all the time. I'm seeing them from a different set of eyes. And also for me anyway, with nursing, dignity is huge. If I can preserve their dignity, I'm going to do it. I think that's really hard. Like when you get into like the long-term care facilities and when you're in the hospital, you're walking around with the open gown on, or, you know, maybe the daughter wants to try to shower the mom and the mom's with it enough to know that that's my daughter and I really don't want her to do that. But when I come in and say, hey, let's take a shower, okay, maybe so. That might be something that they would do versus letting you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's received differently.
I can definitely see how that would be, you know, important. And then that's another thing you offer, you know, someone's struggling and they're like, we need help. You're like, okay, I'm there for you. So what kind of made you realize, was there a wow moment? Was there a time where you're like, this is it. I know I'm meant to do this. There is no going back. This is it for me. Wow. I think with every patient so far that I've seen, there's been a wow moment. Because I get really close to them. I see a lot of them I see weekly. There are some I only see every 6 weeks for just a haircut or whatever. But even the ones that I see every 6 weeks, like they're just on my heart.
I don't know. You do get close to them. You're going into their home. That's personal. You're in their personal space. You meet their family. They become like, they start to tell you things that maybe they wouldn't tell other people. And their stories are amazing, honestly. Like, that's probably one of the things I love the most on my older generation patients.
Yeah.
Is hearing their stories.
They have a lot to say.
And so I think I can go back probably to the second private home health patient that I reached out to, and then she accepted my services. She's homebound, and I just love her. Like, she's honestly just a delight. She's just a sweet, sweet lady. And if I wasn't able to go in for her to do what I do, I'm sure she would find somebody else. But I feel like our relationship is such that, like, we talk about like our families together, and she knows that I have all these kids, and you know, she knows that I live right down the street, and all the things, you know, right, that you share. And so you start to build that connection with them, and you start to look forward to that next, like, okay, I'm going to go see her in another 4 weeks, or it's another 3 weeks. And then I could say that scenario, though, for every one of my people that I see. Like, there's one that I see twice a week, and I love her. Like, you know, we do our little chair exercises, and we talk about life, and we talk about how she's feeling. And it's when they look at me and say, I'm so glad you came today. That's honestly when I know I'm doing the right thing, honestly.
I'm sure it's very
so glad you
fulfilling.
came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you realize that that's, you know.
Yeah. And that is why I got into nursing also. Doing hair for people, you take care of them, right? You make them feel good. And they come in, they're like, my hair looks horrible, fix it. And they leave feeling good. That's what nursing does. Well, that's what nursing should be. But I do think that, like, as the years went on, it was hard to do that, just because, like, the ratio of nurse to patient, like, when I first started, it was like me to like 6 people. And that was a bad day if I had 6 patients. Now it's like me, if I was going to go work in the hospital, I'd probably be like 1 to 10 or 1 to 8 to 10, you know?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a lot. It depends on what hospital and what setting you're in. But I can speak for one of my jobs, and it was a remote job. I had 50 patients. That was just me.
Oh my, that's a lot.
So that's just borderline, like, I can't really give the care that I'm wanting to give.
Yeah, that's
the care that I want to give is, like, I want to take care of your family the way I want my mom to be taken care of. And I'm in that situation. So when I'm sitting down with you talking about your family, you're speaking my language, because I'm also taking care of my mom who's sick. You know what I mean?
So people can connect with you on that too.
Yeah.
You're not just a stranger who took a 10-hour course online and is like, okay, I'm here to take care of your family member. And like, family is such a soft spot. Yeah. Because like, and you know, my grandma, who I'm very close to, she inspired a lot of who I am to be today. She's in a facility, and it just breaks my heart, because I wish she could be in my home. I just wish there could be a setup for that, but there can't be right now. Right. And so, like, I've met some of the people that work, you know, in the facility, and they seem nice enough, but they don't, I wouldn't say they don't care, but you know what I mean? They don't truly, like,
they're
passionately.
busy.
Exactly.
They're so busy.
Oh, it's a full
They
place.
have a lot to do.
Exactly. And so, like, I wish I had somebody who could be that one-on-one. Yeah. And so it's a very important service, because people love their family. Yeah. Right. And for them to trust you to go in and know that you're going to take good care of their mom, sister, brother, whoever it is. I mean, I can only imagine it's so rewarding.
Yeah, it is.
That you're the one.
Yeah.
And so you're not only like helping them live, but also like you're helping them like live more, you know? So I'm sure that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. I mean, it's been a short time that I've been open, but in the short time, it's honestly been amazing.
Yeah. So going from there, where do you see yourself over the next several years? Where would you like to go? You just kind of just grow your business more, or do you not want to hire on anybody else? Is that something, if you get too busy down the road, would you consider?
Right now, I'd like to say, no, I want it to be just me because I have such a passion for the way I want to care for my patients.
And you know how you take care of people. You don't always trust somebody else.
I know it was me, so I know what happened. I know the way they were cared for. Listen, there's a lot of great nurses out there.
Absolutely. I've met a few wonderful nurses.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But there's a lot of not so great nurses.
Yeah.
I can say that too.
Right. And I don't know. I right now, if I had to answer that, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
So where do I see myself in years down the line? I hope just the way I am.
That's
right
perfect.
now.
Yeah.
Like with the passion that drives me to take care of every one of my patients with love, dignity, respect, giving that family the comfort. They know that I'm just loving on their mom and dad.
Yeah.
Or their sick kiddo or grandma and grandpa or whoever's needing the care. Or lightening their load a little bit by going to Price Chopper or Hy-Vee, wherever, and getting the groceries that you want me to get. And I'll go home and prep and make the meals. And, if I go to a family and they're not there and I'm just with Mr. Smith and nobody else is there, I always give a report when I leave, So I want to be just as I am in 5 years. I'm not looking to be huge. I'm literally doing this because I love what I do. And of course I want it to be successful. Nobody ever opens a business hoping it's not.
Right.
So, I want it to be successful. But I'm not worried about it being successful because I'm doing what I love.
And that's the important part.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell every small business owner is if you love what you do, you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
So.
And it's not about how big I get. It's more about the quality of care that I'm able to give.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot, and obviously, some things about you are very vastly different from other home care companies.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we missed that would make you different or separate you from what someone who would have to sign a contract, like besides what we talked about, is there anything else that would separate you from everybody else?
I just think, honestly, the biggest thing is the contract. There is no contract with me. I am basically at your service as needed. Also, I don't think a lot of people really go errand shopping and meal prep, so that probably sets me apart.
Absolutely.
And the hair services obviously set me apart. But other than that, I would like to say the biggest thing that sets me apart is my care.
Yeah.
My
and you
heart.
have the experience.
Yeah.
So not only the passion, but someone can trust that you're going to come in and honestly take good care of their loved one.
And too, whenever I do a one-on-one, so I call it an intake. When a family reaches out to me, I'll do an intake either on the phone or I'll meet them in person. If somebody's going to take care of my mom, I want to meet you.
Yeah.
So I'll do what I call an intake. And, I do tell them, if you don't have cameras in your house, I highly recommend it. Absolutely recommend it. If you have somebody coming into your home taking care of somebody, you should absolutely have a camera up.
Completely agree.
I actually want you to have a camera up. I want you to be able to pop in and see, hey, what's Nurse Shannon doing with my mom today? And me not know it. I would rather that.
People trust that so much more. You're not against the cameras. You're like, no, go ahead. That would provide a whole nother level of trust.
I actually I've sent the cameras that we use in my mom's house to several of my patients' families. And these are the cameras we love. And I just send them the link. And, and I also have other safety features in my mom's house that we use that we love. And so I will kind of walk around the house too and let them know hey, I would be concerned about this. This stairway is open. You probably need to put a gate, something like that, depending on the situation.
Yeah. Keep them a little safer.
Yeah. And also I want to add, a lot of people do have hospice coming in. And the question is always asked, can I still have you? Yeah, you can, because hospice is paid for by your insurance. But home health, when they come in, they have probably 6 patients, maybe more, that they're seeing that day. So they're coming in, they're doing what needs to be done, and then they've got to go, right? And insurance takes care of that. It's a wonderful service. I used to be a hospice nurse. They're angels on earth for sure.
It's a tough job, and I think every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's something I could never do.
Yeah. It's
so
amazing.
Thank you for doing that because that's phenomenal work.
Yeah, it's amazing work. So, but what I want to say is that's where I come in. Like if you feel like you need somebody after they leave to come in and sit with, then that's where private home health comes in. It's more by the hour, where home health is more like, hey, we got to get in, let's see how they're doing, take their vitals, do all the things, and then they need to go because they've got a list of people they need to see. So,
and I think what's so nice about you being so, what's the word I'm looking for, where you can kind of come and go is maybe there's a week that they don't need your service.
Absolutely.
And maybe there's a week they really need your service.
Right.
And again, just not being stuck to that contract.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're having a hard time this week. Can you come in? And you're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah. I like to call it, you know how they call it like PRN medication, like as needed medication. I'm as needed care.
Yes. That's wonderful for a lot of different things too. So, well, is there anything else you would like to share with us before we kind of wrap up?
I don't think so. I'm just thrilled to be able to, offer the service to not only our community, but the surrounding communities. I do go you go outside of,
Okay, and you said Missouri and Kansas. So about how far east, west, north, south would you say go?
So right now, Archie.
Okay.
And then I'd say south would be Olathe.
Okay.
I would go out to Lenexa or Lawrence if need be. If I go a certain radius out, I will tack on a little bit of mileage. But generally, I haven't been doing that so far. And then I would go to Blue Springs. And then I do go to Smithville. I have one in Kearney. And then my mom's in Gladstone. So
you go kind of all over the clock, huh?
I am around. So my little car takes me everywhere. It's my office on wheels. So
that's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell people to wrap us up. Where can they find you? Website, Facebook, Instagram. Where are you at?
So I'm on Facebook. I have Willow Path Private Home Care Facebook page. You can find me there. I post all the time. So I'm constantly posting. I usually tell people just to call me or text me. And your phone number is on your Facebook? It is. Okay. And also if they go to my Facebook page, they'll find it there. Okay. But it is 816-820-8468. Let's put the plug in. Write it down. And then I'm working on a website right now. I don't have it up yet. I just spoke to somebody about that yesterday. So I'm fresh and new. So we're still kind of in the process. We're growing. So
you're kind of fresh and new. You're fresh into the industry, but you're so well established with your passion and the job that you've had for 20 years. Long time. So don't fresh and new. Don't let that scare anybody. This woman knows what she's doing. Like if you listen, she knows what she's doing. So, and again, I cannot touch on that enough. That is so nice to know that somebody you don't really know from a Google website is coming to take care of your loved one. It's someone who has a true passion to create this type of thing. And I will add on to that and say, you always know it's going to be me. Sometimes with these care, home health or whatever, you really don't know who. I mean, they do call you ahead of time and say, hey, I'll be coming in tomorrow. So they do give that courtesy. But you know that when you bring me on for care for your family, it's going to be me. I'm coming in every single time. So. Love it. Love it. And let's touch again that she does a lot of different things. I do. So it's not just helping those people. It's everything that we've covered. And so I will definitely be making sure people know about that one. Because I think that's so much. Again, where were you post C-section? Because I could have used all of it. I know. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. It was a pleasure. And I will make sure to link her socials in the description and everything like that. So make sure people follow you and you're a wonderful service. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I learned a lot about this. That's one of the things I love is I had no idea. I thought you're, not just you, but like home health in general is just taking care of older homebound people. Yeah. But you can help parents, you can help run errands. I mean, everything you touched on. So hopefully everyone who's watched learned just as much as I did. That's the goal here. But a wonderful woman. Check her out. If you need her services, please by all means book her. She's pretty great. Well, thank you so much again. And then thank you everybody. We will see you on the next Small Business Sunday. Bye.
Thank you.